Okay. Okay. There we go. Fast hands exposure. Let's get it. Got the YouTube one going. No, it's not made for kids. All right. Hmm. All right. Got the video going. Got that going. Okay.
Concludes by saying that the enemy likely has several weeks to conduct its own active offensive operation inside of Crimea, if of course they have the forces and resources to do so. After capturing the town of Primorsk, Ukrainian formations have continued pushing further south, creating a real threat to Russian positions in Kamiansk. Now, all this is only possible because of one thing, Ukrainian drone innovation, and that has also caused a big problem for Russia. And this is where we talk about the biggest news I have seen in a long time, and that relates to Russian casualty figures and exactly how long is the life expectancy of a new Russian recruit. Take a look. From the moment a new Russian recruit arrives at the training ground to his eventual death in combat, the average time is between 10 days to 3 weeks. Again,
dude, the average life expectancy, what? Dude, the average life expectancy of a new Russian recruit from arrival at a training ground to death in a combat zone lies somewhere between 10 days and 3 weeks. Once set into the battlefield, they survive at an average of 20 to 35 minutes. They're playing Helldivers in real life. They're playing Helldivers, bro. That's all
we
they're
don't know
doing.
the exact numbers because Russia doesn't want to publish it, but that's a pretty bleak range. Now, important to point out here, that's the full cycle, right? From him getting on a bus to go to a training facility to him eventually fighting on the front lines. But let's narrow down even more. Let's zoom into the average survival time that a Russian recruit has on the front lines. According to this report, that's only between 20 to 35 minutes, which is insane. Like, I was shocked at the fact that this figure is being reported in minutes, not days or something like that. It's minutes. This may be worse than like World War II. This is World War I level during trench warfare when situation was just purely bleak. Now, just for comparison, Russia is now incurring approximately 8 men killed.
Oh my god, imagine being a Russian man right now. Imagine living in Russia. And this is your life. It's like in Korea, you have to serve, but instead now you have to serve and you have to die.
Or seriously wounded for every 1 Ukrainian casualty. This report also
Makes you ask, who is living there? The higher class military members? Or...
also says that Russian monthly casualties have averaged more than 30,000 per month for this entire year. And I'm pretty
Oof, do they know they're going off to death?
sure November, December of the last year, maybe even October, it was over 30,000. So Russia has been losing a lot of men and they're having a harder time recruiting new people. Now,
The way, the way all guys look the same, if they are the same skin tone and they all have the same cut, is pretty funny.
just to put it
Like, we look all copy pasted as fuck. It looks like carbon copy clones. Ole male.
Russia has been losing a lot of men and they're having a harder time recruiting new people. Now, just to put in perspective how desperate Putin is getting, the new sign-up bonuses are now reaching $80,000 US dollars. And on top of that, if you sign up for the army, you also get up to $140,000 in additional debt relief. Even after all this, again, this is a lot of money even here in the United States, but in Russia, this is like a generation-changing money. I'm pretty sure you can go your whole life with this kind of money. But it's not enough to get people to now sign up for basically a death sentence. Now, this is something we've been breaking down with former Navy SEAL Chuck Farr on a regular basis in our new series, Battlefield Breakdown. And here's a clip from that where he explains exactly why Russian soldiers are not surviving on the front lines, why they're not surviving for a long time. Take a look.
You know, what we're seeing increasingly is Ukraine will send a number of drones against a single target. And to show the payload capabilities, you could see that those brick walls were being broken down. They have a variety of payloads for the drones as well, and there we see the entire house go. So there are incendiary, there are explosive drone warheads, and incendiary.
First clip here, we have a North Korean soldier knocking down a drone and then walking up to it.
And here is a guy who has actually somehow managed to down a drone.
Dude,
And
that guy who downed... Okay, wait, that was drone footage?
Changing money. I'm pretty
Wait,
sure
they got Gaben?
$80,000 US dollars. And on top of that, if you sign up for the army, you also get up to $140,000 in additional debt. So Russia has been losing a lot of men and they're having a harder time recruiting new people. Now, just to put in perspective how desperate
Who was that?
men and they're having a harder time
Holy, oh my, this is why I gotta go to Russia, bro. Holy, oh my.
recruiting new people. Now, just to put in perspective how desperate
Just kidding. Don't go to Russia.
Putin is getting, the new sign-up bonuses are now reaching $80,000 US dollars. And on top of that, if you sign up for the army, you also get up to
Wait, how much are they offering?
$80,000. Perspective how desperate Putin is getting, the new sign-up bonuses are now reaching $80,000.
That's funny as fuck. Putin's like, alright, raise their pay. Just make sure they die quicker so we don't have to pay them. But I'm pretty sure they would have to still pay them. Even if they
how
die.
desperate Putin is getting, the new sign-up bonuses are now reaching $80,000.
$80K.
US dollars. And on top of that, if you sign up for the army, you also get up to $140,000 in additional debt relief. Even after all this, again, this is a lot of money even here in the United States, but in Russia, this is like a generation-changing money. I'm pretty sure you can go your whole life with this kind of money. But it's not enough to get people to now sign up for basically a death sentence. Now, this is something we've been breaking down with former Navy SEAL Chuck Farr.
Dude, that's Gaben. That's Gaben. They had Gaben on the front lines. That's literally Gaben right there. That's Gabe Newell. That's him. That's how he got his money. That's how he got his yacht.
Regular basis in our new series, Battlefield Breakdown. And here's a clip from that where he explains exactly why Russian soldiers are not surviving on the front lines, why they're not surviving for a long time. Take a look.
you know, what we're seeing increasingly is Ukraine will send a number of drones against a single target. And to show the payload capabilities, you could see that those brick walls were being broken down.
My God.
They have a variety of payloads for the drones as well, and there we see the entire house go.
Dude, that's fucking dark.
Variety of payloads
Drones
for
are
the
so
drone.
cool to me. Like when I first saw them, I was like, wow, these are awesome. Fun consumer tech. You got a brand new remote controlled airplane that you can put a camera on and you could do flips with. But no, dude. They put a bomb on this shit. They put a bomb on them and they start throwing them at people. Dude, whoever is in charge of the drone branch of the military, it was definitely the motherfuckers in school who were fucking, what are they called? The stingers, where they would put like thumbtacks in a straw, and they would shoot them at people. I forgot. There was a way they would do it, or they'd do them with the rubber bands. They'd get thumbtacks and they'd like fucking launch them at people. Oh my god, this is like if some kid put a bomb on a paper airplane and started throwing it at people.
Broken down. They have a variety of payloads for the drones as well, and there we see the entire house go.
Wow.
So there are incendiary, there are explosive drone warheads, and incendiary.
First clip here, we have a North Korean soldier knocking down a drone and then
North Korean goat.
walking up to it.
And here's a guy who has actually somehow managed to down a drone, and he forgets that there's a war on, and this thing was armed. So kids, if you do knock down a first-person drone, just don't do what this guy just did. So that thing was down. It was no longer flying, but its camera, its electronics, everything else was on. This is being filmed by a second drone that tells the first drone, fire your warhead.
Whew.
So there have been several other videos
So it fucking fires
just
on
like
him?
this, where people will walk up on a down drone. And again, these things contain, mostly they contain shape-charged warheads. So the charge is oriented in a specific way, but it's also blast fragmentation. So it'll put out an explosive jet anti-armor, but it also blasts fragmentation material in all directions.
So what's the best procedures to deal with drones? Like if you're in the battlefield?
Get down,
Well, if you
bro.
knock it down, you'd treat it just the way you'd treat a dud artillery shell, right? You'd stay away from it, and you'd call somebody that supposedly knows what they're doing.
Supposedly
I think I would
does.
get back 200, 300 meters and hit it with a tracer round, which probably would set it off. Yeah. But again, you know, the military C4, if you hit it with a regular bullet, it just won't do anything. It takes pressure and heat together to set it off. So you hit that down drone with an armor-piercing incendiary round, it'll probably go off. But
Waiter accused of stabbing customer.
Walt, court documents say the waiter, Edward Kubik, stabbed the victim about 5 times around his neck and back with a knife that he got from the restaurant kitchen. He told investigators that he intended to kill the
$19
Victim.
for onion rings? Yeah, I see it. Comes to Bob's Chop House.
And nurses said the victim would have died without medical attention. I think it's not from
The
the
person in the way,
restaurant
Mo.
kitchen. He told investigators that he intended to kill the victim, and nurses said the victim would have died without medical attention.
I think it's absolutely crazy, and I think that how did they let that person have a job here?
It's kind of insane if you ask me.
Austinites who live near Bob's Steak and Chop House downtown on 3rd Street are shocked to find out a waiter at the restaurant, Edward Kubik, tried to stab and kill a customer Saturday night. Do you ever consider going to eat here after hearing that?
Probably not. Like I think that's it for that restaurant.
Ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's true. If your employee stabs someone, what do you even do? What do you even do as like an employee? How do you mandate that? How do you have a work meeting and you're like, guys, we're offering free like psychological help if you need it.
Court documents say Kubik greeted and even hugged the victim as he walked into the restaurant for dinner with 2 friends. Kubik told investigators he recognized him as a priest from the church he's gone to before. After finishing the meal, the 3 got up and Kubik attacked.
You come into a restaurant and sit down with your family to enjoy a nice dinner, and then you go home in an ambulance? Unacceptable.
Kubik told investigators he intended to kill the victim because he believed he would make fun of him during confessions. The
What?
officer in the report says the victim was bleeding profusely around his neck and his back. It adds Kubik stabbed the victim about 5 times with a knife that he got from the restaurant kitchen. The knife nicked a blood vessel that
Oh
requires
my god, $19 for
radial-
onion rings. Holy shit, they're right. $19 onion rings. Oh my god. They cost more than the salads. I guess that means all their salads are dog shit. They all cost the same. Even then, the salads overpriced as hell. Wow. Fried calamari, $19. Jumbo shrimp cocktail, $24. Thick cut Niski's bacon, $19 for 2 slices of bacon? Yeah. They should have stabbed the owner of this place.
Up from the restaurant kitchen, the knife nicked a blood vessel that requires radiology treatment to fix. In a statement from Bob's, the brand says, in part, the safety of our guests, visitors, and team members remains our highest priority. We are cooperating fully
crazy.
with law enforcement. Austin injury attorney Adam Lowy says there's going to be liability on the restaurant because Kubik was on the clock.
I think that the insurance company for Bob's Chop House will eventually pay their insurance limit.
The victim did survive the attack, and Kubik is being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a second-degree felony. Reporting in downtown
How
Austin.
was that not
Vinny
attempted murder if you stab him? What?
No,
You
CBS
just
Austin
stabbed him like
News.
near his neck.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the
Crazy
subscribe
lawyer.
button and get the latest news by downloading.
W lawyer pool. New court documents. Say camera for. I'm reading that. What was that? The CS2 market collapse. Holy fuck, dude! Every market is collapsing. Every fake market. The Minecraft fake market. There's a fake. Let me see. Teams collapse. Minecraft economy. Can a Minecraft economy collapse? Yes. VNB. Wait. There's a no way. There's a whole rabbit hole to this. They have multiple. What? I heard about one of these. They have so many Minecraft stock
Every Minecraft
markets.
server starts the same way. Everyone's broke. No gear, no base, just empty inventories. So everyone scatters across.
3-minute short 800 view video on if a Minecraft economy can collapse. This is insane. This guy uploaded this. This deserves 20 million views. 80 views. Can a Minecraft economy collapse?
Across the world looking for resources. Some start mining, some start farming, and of course, everyone's punching trees. Slowly, the first tools appear, then iron, then the real hunt begins. Because on every server, sooner or later, diamonds stop being just a resource, and somehow they become money. But what if I told you that Minecraft economies can actually collapse? Not just slow down, not just get a little unbalanced, I mean completely break. Because just like in the real world, if too many resources exist, or if the wrong person controls the market, everything can spiral out of control. I don't want to sound too nerdy now, but in today's video, I want to find out, can a Minecraft economy actually collapse? And if so, how? First, I want to talk about servers. Now, if you ever played on a multiplayer server, you already know how it works. Basically, diamonds become money, iron becomes money, any block they can hold, even dirt, can become money. And before you know it, people are already opening shops, trading items, and suddenly, you've got a full economy. But here's the thing, Minecraft economies look stable, but they actually aren't. Let me go more into detail. In a normal economy, money is controlled. In Minecraft, it just isn't. Anyone can just go mining and suddenly they're rich. And when everyone is rich, money stops having value. And that's where the problem actually starts. Let me introduce you to something called inflation. It's when money becomes less valuable because there's just like too much of it. And Minecraft servers.
So Minecraft is effectively just South Africa. Minecraft is just an economy that works like South Africa. All you need to do is kill everyone who has the ability to mine for more money, and then you get to control all the money. And you get to control inflation.
Because once people get fortune tree pickaxes...
This is why I always liked Minecraft as a child, because you could just kill everyone and control the entire economy. And I always knew that that was like just something that was fun to do. Alright, I just always knew that was something that we were going to get into. And now, we're here.
Diamonds become really easy to get, and suddenly, 1 diamond becomes 10, 10 diamonds become a stack, and eventually, nobody cares about diamonds, because it has no value. Then you got the stinky rich players that actually have no life at all, you know, the ones that have full netherite armor, beacons everywhere.
playing Minecraft at work. I might be unemployed soon. Hold up.
For example, Ferrex, and enough diamonds to crash the economy twice. And once one player becomes insanely rich, they control the prices, and that's when things actually start to break. On servers like Dona SMP, the economy becomes a huge part of the gameplay. Players grind for money, trade items, and fight to stay on top. But when too many items enter the economy, everything loses value, and when everything loses value, the economy starts to collapse. I think you can see a pattern that's happening here. So what does an economy collapse actually look like? Well, we can't really tell, but it looks like shops stop working, prices stop making sense, and players stop trading. Because why would someone trade when everybody already has everything? So that got me also thinking, what would actually happen if we tried to break a Minecraft economy? What if we flooded the server with diamonds? You know what? What if we made everything free? What if money became completely worthless? Would the economy survive or would it collapse? Minecraft might look pretty simple, but...
Okay, I actually don't know why I'm acting like this is a new revelation, because the Minecraft economy has been a thing for a long time. In pay-to-win servers, I've already seen tons of videos, I've just completely spaced on them, where people will just go into a pay-to-win Minecraft server, prison server usually, where you have to, I guess the goal is just to make money. It's like a grinding tycoon type of game. I mean, they're fun for a while, but then it gets bored after like the first 5 minutes. But some people like to keep grinding those until they're on the about top leaderboard. And what cheaters will do, or dupers will go in there, duplicate a ton of diamonds, a ton of money, and they'll become the richest, and they'll give away a shit ton of money and ruin the economy. And they have to roll back the server, and they have to do a ton of things. So I low-key forgot about those. But, the Minecraft bake that lost 200k in 3 minutes. There were also these Minecraft economies that seemed to, I think people were putting in real money, like maybe 20 bucks or 10 bucks. Each people puts in a little bit amount, and it ends up getting a shit ton of like a valuation of Minecraft dollars to real dollars type of ratio that they have going on. And then when they get deeper into the server, I guess they accumulate this much money maybe? I don't know if it's actual money. I still haven't got into that, but I mean, it's just Minecraft economy. I'm not too deep into it. It's not that big of a...
They're illegal.
It does sound pretty funny. It's something I'll watch in the background.
And they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft.
Speaking of economies in Minecraft servers are piracy, apparently.
You've probably already seen this clip of...
Oh, this is awesome. I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad the government is fucking with Minecraft, so IBX Toycat can get views, because he hasn't got views like this, I don't think, in a long, long time.
The ESA...
He's popping up on my other YouTube account. That's crazy. This YouTube account has nothing affiliated with Minecraft whatsoever. So the fact that he's showing up is kind of wild.
Coming out to say that they believe that all Minecraft servers are piracy. I assumed this was a mistake or a misspeak where they surely meant the cracked servers, but nope, they've come out to double down on those comments, and they put out a statement saying that yes, that is what we meant, and we said it because we meant it, which is interesting because they do actually represent Microsoft and therefore Minecraft. And so are Minecraft... mistake or a misspeak where they surely meant the cracked servers, but nope, they've come out to double down on those. ESA coming out to say where they surely meant the...
I think this is the Europe ESA. The Entertainment Software Administration. Oh yeah, I was waiting for Gamers Nexus to say something about this, but I figured they wouldn't, because it's not, I didn't think it was their type of coverage, but I guess so. Yeah, everyone in the tech community is covering this shit. No one is gonna let that shit slide.
Cracked servers, but nope, they've come out to double down on those comments, and they put out a statement saying that yes, that is what we meant, and we said it because we meant it, which is...
Why does this look like Carl from Shameless? Is that not?
Interesting because they do actually represent Microsoft and therefore Minecraft. And so are Minecraft servers actually illegal now? What did this actually change, and how did this entire thing come about? Well, let's get into that with the Minecraft news today, but we'll get into it right to double down on those comments, and they put out a statement saying surely meant the cracked servers, but nope, they've come out to double down on those comments, and they put out a statement saying that yes, that is what we meant, and we said it because we meant it, which is interesting because they do actually...
ESA, Entertainment Software Association, we represent some of the most creative companies in the world. Epic, Riot, Roblox? Holy shit, they own the whole fucking monopoly. They own everyone. This is everyone in entertainment right now. If I look at my computer and I look at all the games I have, and even all the shows that I watch, for the most part, they just don't have Disney. And yeah, they just don't have everything under the Disney umbrella, but holy corporate conglomeracy. Jesus Christ. Amazon, Atari. Atari's still here? Bandai Namco, Capcom. They have the Japanese companies. They have the Amazon, the Americans. Jesus. Amazon, Epic, Konami, Mattel. Microsoft. Wow. Take-Two? Roblox. Wow. Wow. This reminds me. The Roblox stock is doing awesome. Roblox stock is gonna go crazy. That's crazy trajectory right there. I've seen that a million times before. Roblox stock is my favorite stock right now. It's the #1 to buy. It's like peak. Best stock. Gaming company, still AI oriented.
Microsoft and therefore Minecraft. And so are Minecraft servers actually illegal now? What did this actually change and how did this entire thing come about? Well, let's get into that with the Minecraft news today, but we'll get into it right away because hello, I'm Cat, and this entire thing starts from a very important starting point, which is the Stop Killing Games movement. This is the idea that many games aren't being preserved right now because they require killing games.
Incredible here in a European Parliament. There was no Parliament member that wasn't responding positively. That's awesome, dude. Stop Killing Games is amazing, dude. It's sad that the only way for gaming to enter a mainstream media fucking spotlight is for it to be monopolized and controlled to this weird ass extent. I don't even know what the word is. Is it condemnation that they're doing? I don't really know. They're shutting down games every time they... I don't really know what the word would be.
Movement. This is the idea that many games aren't being preserved right now because they require some form of always online component, or there's some part of the game that just simply is taken offline by the publisher, meaning that people who bought it are left with nothing. This is a very big deal for the preservation of what I consider to be an art form, and so this is why it's so exciting to see this organization be successful and actually be able to talk to the EU Parliament like they did earlier this year, and perhaps even bigger, they managed to get a piece of legislation that they endorsed into the California Senate. It's called the Protect Our Games Act. Because of course it is. What a great name for a bill. But anyway, they got this. Everything has to be about protection if you want to do it in the legal system, apparently. But interestingly, the California Senate did get Jennifer Gibbons, the vice president of the ESA, to give the opposing side. Now, this is interesting because the Entertainment Software Association is an industry...
Here it is. Minecraft private servers are illegal according to the Entertainment Software Association. Let's see what they said.
Bills around the ability to go on a community server. The author is stating that that's currently allowed right now, so long as you're... Right,
let me replay this in full screen.
One part of the bill is around the ability to go on a community server. The author is stating that that's currently allowed right now, so long as you're... I don't want to misunderstand what you said, some member.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty community servers. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal and they are not in any way.
Relax, Jennifer. How are they illegal, buddy? You're gonna get yourself caught up. You do not want to say this, bro. She already ruined her rep. Someone get the Xbox CEO up in here. That bitch knows how to get down, bro. I don't know who hired her, but she is peak. She's peak. She's literally the reason I've been debating buying an Xbox. The only reason I don't want Xbox now, because the GTA 6 works better on PS4 or PS5 Pro Enhanced. Dude, it feels so weird to say PS5 Pro. It feels weird to say PS5. Like, that shit's still a concept art on YouTube to me. I still haven't played with one, really.
Affiliated with Microsoft.
I think out of the entirety of the 5 years the PS5 has been out, or the 6 years it's been out, I think I've used it like maybe 3 times. That's it.
For Minecraft, has gotten a lot of criticism.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, look at those cat. This is awesome. I see this. Why does my zombified piglin keep dying? Whoa, holy slow-mo. That's cool. Alright. The ESA's shady ties.
Body that represents these companies and their interests. Note how you'll see Microsoft is in fact listed there. So that is the context behind what you're about.
Okay.
And they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft.
Oh, okay. So this is the full, I think, what she really said.
Server. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal and they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft. For Minecraft, has gotten a lot of criticism because of those community servers not employing the same safety standards that Microsoft does on their Minecraft servers.
So she confirmed what many in the know.
What? So she knows a little bit of ball.
Have already theorized for a while that Microsoft's biggest problem with third-party servers and the reason they implemented chat reporting is because they get so much criticism, presumably from parents, but also from other groups, from people going on those third-party servers and just saying, it's Minecraft, why aren't you guys looking after it? If you're wondering as to why you can be banned from multiplayer for what you do on a third-party server, or sometimes lose access to the game altogether, well, this seems to be the reason, but she goes further than...
Wow, I never knew they implemented that. I play on 1.8.9, and I don't know if that's changes anything to do with chat reporting, but I assume they're still logged to the same server base. It's not really an issue with the game version. I also don't know how does Hypixel let new versions play with 1.8? Alright. I always wonder how they, like... I still don't fully understand how they get one version to work with another. I guess it, like, translates the game data over. But... Huh. Let me turn my volume up. There you go.
Standing in the street, but you don't know that it's obligation. Someone is staring at your shoes, but you don't know that. Panning for gold without a river in sight.
There we go.
Just saying that they don't like these servers.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy. We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private servers right now. And the United States Trade Representative, in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy, has named
what'd you say?
Lawsuits.
Seems to be the reason, but she goes further than just saying that they don't like these servers.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy. We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private servers right now. And the United States Trade Representative, in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy, has named some of these big private servers as a notorious market.
Okay, so important context for the 2 claims you just heard. The first is that the United States Trade Representative put out a report saying that servers were in fact piracy, but actually that is a very outdated report from 2018, and it specifically references piracy in relation to how World of Warcraft servers work. Yes, that is how old it is, and specifically one...
Wow, wait, I did not...
Their notorious markets report. Yes, in fact...
Other than just saying that they don't like these servers.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy. We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private servers right now. And the United States Trade Representative, in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy, has named some of these big private servers as a notorious market.
Okay, so important context for the 2 claims you just heard. The first is that the United States Trade Representative put out a report saying that servers were in fact piracy, but actually that is a very outdated report from 2018, and it specifically references piracy in relation to how World of Warcraft servers work. Yes, that is how old it is, and specifically ones that allow you to play that game without actually having to pay for it, which is, I think, the definitional, meaning of piracy. So that is very unrelated. And with regards to the servers that she claims they are suing, I couldn't find any reference to them, so they must be closed lawsuits. But in general, it seems like they don't really have much to say beyond, we think it's piracy, we think it's bad, and this must have been a mistake. Except nope, in a statement given to PC Gamer after the controversy of this came out, they said that as far as they are concerned, private servers infringe on the intellectual property rights of game publishers. publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against them. In other words, they believe that the Minecraft servers that currently exist, the current legal position is that they are a form of mild piracy or at least IP infringement, and that Minecraft are just turning a blind eye right now, but they don't, actually insist on maintaining that blind eye forever. This is an important position as it relates to stop killing games, because the idea that if Minecraft were to stop selling copies of itself, that it would still have to allow these servers to exist is something they obviously do not want, and that obviously many games publishers are a little scared of. The idea that someone else is making money from their game, but they are not, is something that the ESA is very against, and honestly, I kind of get it from that level, and I get why the ESA party servers, and the reason they implement it is because they get so much criticism. Wondering as to why you can be banned from multiplayer.
Two pending lawsuits.
That they don't like these servers.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy. We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private servers right now. And the United States Trade Representative, in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy, has named some of these big private servers as a notorious market.
Okay, so important context for the 2 claims you just heard. The first is that the United States Trade Representative put out a report saying that servers were in fact piracy, but actually that is a very outdated report from 2018, and it specifically references piracy in relation to how World of Warcraft servers work. Yes, that is how old it is, and specifically ones that allow you to play that game without actually having to pay. You're wondering as to why you can.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy. We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private servers right now, and the United States Trade Representative, in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy, has named some of these big private servers as a notorious market.
Okay, so important context for the 2 claims you just heard. The first is that the United States Trade Representative put out a report saying that servers were in fact piracy, but actually that is a very outdated report from 2018, and it specifically references piracy in relation to how World of Warcraft servers work. Yes, that is how old it is, and specifically ones that allow you to play that game without actually having to pay for it, which is, I think, the definitional, meaning of piracy. So that is very unrelated. And with regards to the servers that she claims they are suing, I couldn't find any reference to them, so they must be closed lawsuits. But in general, it seems like they don't really have much to say beyond, we think it's piracy, we think it's bad, and this must have been a mistake. Except no, in a statement given to PC Gamer after the controversy this came out, they said that as far as they're concerned, private servers infringe on the intellectual property rights of game publishers. Publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against them. In other words, they believe that the Minecraft servers that currently exist, the current legal position is that they are a form of mild piracy, or at least IP infringement, and that Minecraft are just turning a blind eye right now, but they don't, actually insist on maintaining that blind eye forever. This is an important position as it relates to stop killing games, because the idea that if Minecraft were to stop selling copies of itself, that it would still have to allow these servers to exist is something they obviously do not want, and obviously many games publishers are a little scared of. The idea that someone else is making money from their game, but they are not, is something that the ESA is very against, and honestly, I kind of get it from that level, and I get why the ESA has to be a lobbying body that defends their position, but I will say I disagree. Partially because I believe video games are art. I think that art should have a period where you, the artist, exclusively own the rights, but when you cede those rights, you shouldn't be able to take it back from the people who have supported it. And so when it comes to Minecraft, there are 3 really key points. The first is that yes, community servers can cause Minecraft a headache, either when people are acting poorly on them, or when, like they're allowing people to play Minecraft, but it's cracked. And those are 2 examples of servers that, I could see why Minecraft will go against it. In theory, if there are servers that are heavily soliciting people who are under 18 and are heavily doing bad things, oh yeah, I could see why you might need to do something. And also, I could see why they would be against the idea of cracked Minecraft servers, because if they allow servers to exist that encourage people to play the game for free, they're going to see that as lost revenue. Obviously, piracy isn't always lost revenue. There's a much more complicated debate that goes beyond the scope of this video, but that's why my second point is that I think that Microsoft have not actually said any of this. There is going to be a lot of bad press about this from Minecraft, and I've been seeing it already, but this is critically a body that Microsoft is a subscriber to, and so Microsoft may believe these things in a legal setting, but as a company, Mojang should come out and state their support for community servers. Obviously, not the ones that are doing bad things to under 18-year-olds or the ones that have cracked things on them, but they should accept that the majority of private servers out there increase the reach of their game, and that Minecraft would have not been as popular without them. In the same way that some number of people who pirated Minecraft later went on to buy it, in fact, by some reports, a ridiculously huge amount, I think that a lot of people would not have bought Minecraft in the first place were it not for a big server. The classic one is Hypixel, right? But there are so many servers out there that do weird and wacky things. Do you want to play on a Christian Minecraft server? It exists. Do you want to play on an autistic-only Minecraft server? Those exist. I mean, arguably they're all Minecraft servers. But do you want to play on a server that is actually emulating the entire world? All of these servers exist and do incredible things for the communities that they serve. And so as a result, I think it is very fair to say that I think that although there is a body that is representing them, they need to get out in front of this and say that yeah, they said that for some legal, but like on an emotional level, we love our community. If I hired a lawyer and that lawyer came out and said I like gravel, I would be correcting that lawyer, is all I'm saying. But the third and perhaps most important thing to say here as it relates to the entire movement, because let's be real, it's never happening to Minecraft, right? Except that is not necessarily as true as it seems. Because even though Minecraft is perhaps it's the world's most played game, the world's most loved game by many metrics, it's one of the games that they have committed to developing for a very long time. I mean, literally at Minecraft Live, the surprise one they did this year, Lady Agnes spoke about how it was a generational game.
And Minecraft is also generational because it's designed and evolved to last for generations. So those family worlds can then be passed down over time.
This means that you should feel relatively safe that if you buy a Minecraft product, then you never have to worry about servers or third-party authentication. You don't have to worry about any of the stop-killing game stuff because Mojang or Microsoft is always going to be supporting it, right? Well, ignoring the fact that Microsoft has spoken about spinning off Xbox and put its own division, we spoke about last week, of course, I think there is the more interesting question of actually there are 3 versions of Minecraft, and of those 3, one of them has already reached this point. Minecraft Console Edition is already a great example of one where the community has had to take over, not just on development, but on allowing it to work on new platforms. Minecraft Legacy Console would have just been allowed to become this slowly growing pile of dust that exists on harder and harder to obtain platforms, but thanks to the work of the Legacy Console Edition, and if we're being real to the leakers who put it out there, you can now find launchers that will allow you to just play this on PC. This is remarkable to me, and it's really cool to see, and it's a really strong contrast when you look at if we can share some Minecraft news today. Did you know there was a brand new snapshot and beta? I was originally expecting this news video to be about them, but actually there was no beta in preview, and the snapshot that came out was fairly minor. It's quite notable because if you look at that snapshot, they actually took work from the community and they put it into Minecraft. They acknowledged that someone had to do something that is technically modifying their IP, but by taking this community of people that love the game, they can manage to get cool features in there, but also critically, unlike Minecraft Bedrock, which just took a week of doing previews and therefore new content, the things like the Legacy Launcher or the Emerald Traders reference, they are being worked on constantly. People are pouring their heart and their souls into these, and that's why I think it is that you can never truly get fully behind the argument of the ESA or what Microsoft or the big corpos would love you to believe, which is the idea that, like, no, when you buy a game, you're not actually buying the game, you're giving us money, and then we're choosing separately to give you access. You know, that's like me being a burger salesman and saying, look, when you buy a burger, you're not actually buying a burger, you're buying the option for me to maybe make you a burger, but if I don't make you a burger, I'm still keeping the money. That to me feels ridiculous and emblematic of the cause I really believe in, which is the idea that if you say that buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, right? You're just technically taking the sneaky ability to have a license and doing it in your own hands, probably more stable than you'll get as a real product. But my the point where I'll lose some of the people who are also super pros stop killing games here is I will still say that I think for art to succeed, creators of the thing, and maybe it's slightly profitable, and they see people who are like, oh, that's profitable, what if I literally just took it? There are channels that upload my entire videos, and thankfully most of them don't get many views, so we don't have to worry about it. But still, there are channels that just decide, yeah, what if I could have the success of making a video without actually having to make it? Or as an example, I create content for the marketplace. So I make Minecraft maps and add-ons and stuff like that with the team. And one of the weird things is I have considered the preservation of those things. Like, what if, you know, like the Minecraft marketplace goes away, or what if they delist the content? How would people be able to access it? And it's like, well, obviously you would just distribute the copy without the marketplace stuff inside of it. Obviously you just make that easy to do. And the question of how you do that is tricky, because if I were to die before that were to happen, then the non-DRM copies would die with me, or at least with my PC. And so weirdly enough, that is where piracy then becomes at least slightly useful. There are people who just go through and pirate everything on the marketplace. There are people who make, you know, to double down on this one, there are people who make videos so they get ad revenue to advertise the pirated copies of my maps and stuff that I make. But weirdly, Poppy says, well, at least that means they are out there. I think there is this weird thing where no one should ever be proud of piracy. I think the market starts to die when they do. But also we need to acknowledge that it fills a giant space in the world. My favorite example of this is early TV, the early BBC, for example, one of the first broadcasters in the world. They filmed a bunch of shows live, and tapes were really expensive, so no one recorded them, and so many early TV shows are lost to history, including Doctor Who. But because people were making their own illegal copies, those things have been preserved. That is the messy world of preservation, is that sometimes by preserving something, you might be committing a crime, but you might also be helping mankind. And that's because I think that the right to own...
Okay, dude. This basically means that, like... Am I... Let's see what Gamers Next has to think about the ESA's shitty ties.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty community servers. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yeah.
They get paid by game companies, and they also collaborate with AI companies, which I find particularly ironic that the ESA is making its argument on piracy and intellectual property theft. Then on the other hand, they go and advocate for AI when the multi-billion-dollar corporations steal from people. That's allowed. When the people try to host their own server to play with their friends on, that's theft. Fuck you. Minecraft servers are illegal, black markets, and piracy. The video game trade group and anti-consumer mouthpiece, the Entertainment Software Association, called private game servers, quote,
Dude, when people used to say, they used to say Gaben Tech Jesus, I thought they were talking about this guy. I think they are talking about
legal, and likened them to, quote, black markets, end quote. Yes, actually. That's like, actually the phrase they used in a recent hearing at the California State Senate.
One part of the bill is around the ability to go on a community server. The author is stating that that's currently allowed right now, so long as you're... If I don't want to misunderstand what you said, Assembly Member.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty community servers. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal, and they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft. Microsoft, for Minecraft, has gotten a lot of criticism because of those community servers not employing the same safety standards that Microsoft does on their Minecraft servers.
So is it like the black market of video games?
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy.
Rather than admitting being wrong and saying it had absolutely no clue how gamers actually play games like Minecraft, the Entertainment Software Association, better known as the ESA, the A stands for assholes, doubled down on its bullshit in a statement saying, quote, private servers infringe on the intellectual property, IP, rights of game publishers, end quote. And just to be clear, Minecraft itself distributed the jars for the servers.
Oh yeah, that's true. Minecraft gave out the files to make servers, and it's on their website.
It's like they put them out there. You can host it yourself. It's something they directly support. They have documentation for it. In fact, this is just how games used to be played. Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Battlefield all came to rise. This is just how games used to be played. Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Battlefield all came to rise in the heyday of self-hosted servers. The ESA spends millions of dollars lobbying Uncle Sam and state governments. The ESA spends millions.
Annual lobbying by ESA. So in the late 90s to the early 2000s, they started pumping. Somewhere around 2004 to 2005. For some reason, those are like huge years. Unfortunately, for me, especially, and everyone who's my age. Every time fucking lobbying happened, it was huge back then. 2004, 2005, we had an increase from a 100% increase in lobbying funds in the amount of lobbyists from the ESA group. That's awesome.
Millions of dollars lobbying Uncle Sam and state governments every year, and its priorities include things like enshrining subscription revenue models, using AI to create assets for video games, and vilifying right to repair laws. The ESA itself said,
wait, what?
Create assets for video games and vilify
right to repair mandates present unique security and privacy risks. Oh, what? Right to repair mandates present unique security and piracy risk to the video game ecosystem. The manufacturers of video game consoles employ technological protections to safeguard their platforms and the games played on their devices from infringement, as well as to prevent network and privacy threats. These protections are undercut by so-called right to repair mandates. What the fuck? Did I even speak English? The manufacturers of video game consoles employ technological protections to safeguard their platforms and the games played on their devices from infringement, as well as to prevent network and piracy threats. These protections are undercut by so-called right to repair mandates. That doesn't make sense, bro. That literally doesn't even read off the tongue right. Did you know video games are protected under federal copyright law? Video game consoles employ technological protection measures, TPMs, which are also protected by copyright law to protect legitimate games and prevent illegal and unauthorized modifications to the console that could result in blah 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 party games.
Fine right to repair laws. The ESA itself says this of subscription
services
in gaming, rather than
allowing regulatory flexibility for subscription services enhances consumer choice. The video game industry believes in empowering consumers through enhanced consumer choice. With the growth of digital distributions of video games, the available payment terms have expanded to include subscriptions, exclusive membership services, and trial offers that provide customers with a host of game-related services, online features, and other benefits. ESA member companies provide clear disclosures, obtain informed consent, and allow consumers
than owned gaming, quote, allowing regulatory flexibility for subscription services enhances consumer choice. Subscription-based models save consumers money, provide predictability, and allow
subscription-based models save consumers money, provide predictability, and allow
customized gameplay experiences, end quote. It also says that tech-savvy, quote, game players, end quote, do have another word for that. Oh, it's a little clunky to say game players, but thanks for letting us know how much you know about gaming. They say game players like
video game players are tech-savvy.
Subscription gaming because, quote, they value and demand the ease of auto-renewal options, end quote.
Yeah, no.
It might seem weird that an entertainment association might be so openly anti-consumer. And the ease of auto-renewal options, end quote. It might seem weird that an entertainment association might be so openly anti-consumer, except for the obvious. The ESA represents companies like Microsoft, helmed by CEO Satya Nadella, and also represents Sony, Nintendo, EA, and Amazon, and says that the top benefit for members is to, quote, shape policy priorities, end quote. It's interesting, because the policy being shaped by its members include EA Games being bought by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Saudi Arabia's PIF. Or if you prefer, this past week, Sony killing physical media and discs for Amazon. And they value and demand the ease of auto-renewal options, end quote. It might seem weird that an entertainment association might be so openly anti-consumer, except for the obvious. The ESA represents companies like Microsoft, helmed by CEO Satya Nadella, and also represents Sony, Nintendo, EA, and Amazon, and says that the top benefit for members is to, quote, shape policy priorities, end quote. It's interesting, because the policy being shaped by its members include EA Games being bought by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Saudi Arabia's PIF. Or if you prefer, this past week, Sony killing physical media and discs for physical games distribution on consoles, and any right of vote.
Who liked that? This post should have 0 likes. This article should have no likes. And this should have been posted on April 1st. No more discs games? No more disc games. Are you serious? What are we doing? Hiking prices and removing the disc? For what? For what? There's no battery. There's no camera to make room for. Fucking Apple. This isn't Apple. Why are they doing this?
Ownership of those games on consoles. And Microsoft spending tens of millions of dollars on lobbying every year. But Microsoft also lobbies for the ESA. Microsoft owns Minecraft, and Minecraft allows for...
Dude, when Minecraft joined Microsoft back in 2014, I remember that day like it was tomorrow. Like, dude, that day blew a hole in my mind. I was like, what do you mean? And it was all fine for the next 2 years until they made shitty Java come to fucking console, and then it was cooked.
Third-party private servers. So, in this manner, Microsoft lobbied against itself. Minecraft creator Notch, who's no longer affiliated with the game, called the ESA's comments, quote, borderline evil, end quote. And after this past week, I can't say I ever thought I'd... quote, borderline evil, end quote. And after this past week, I can't say I ever thought I'd miss Balmer. But here we are. Balmer shouting is correct. The ESA made its comments during a California State Senate hearing about a bill.
Why is he shouting?
Evil, end quote. And after this past week, I can't say I ever thought I'd miss Balmer. But here we are. Balmer shouting is correct. The ESA made its comments during a California State Senate hearing about a bill called Protect Our Games Act, a bill that had the support of the Stop Killing Games movement and showed some progress toward consumer rights for digital media in the United States. However, the California bill failed during the committee's vote, and while it'll be allowed for reconsideration, the ESA...
Why are they failing these votes? What the fuck do they have to gain from telling people, no, you can't host custom servers?
...is a straight-up propaganda succeeded in halting its progress for now. While digging for the story, we found ESA propaganda...
Wow. Stop Killing Games back bill fails to pass because the ESA told the California Senate that Minecraft and COD servers are illegal, and they believed them. They just said, okay. Okay.
Succeeded in
said, fuck your bill.
Halting its progress for now. While digging for the story, we found ESA IRS documents revealing tens of millions of dollars of membership fees from game publishers, conflicts of interest where the ESA contributed to the evidence that it presented to the committee, millions of dollars per year spent on lobbying connections to lobbyists who work with AI and memory companies like Nebius and Micron, and links via lobbying firms to Bloomberg and Blackstone, not to mention the
They're cooked.
irony of saying that
ESA files comments on White House Office. ESA files comments on White House Office of Science and Technology requests for information on regulatory reform on artificial intelligence. AI is an invaluable tool in protecting players and promoting safety. Video game companies use both human moderators and advanced technologies to promote player safety from preventing security incidents, to identify cheating and bullying, stopping and reporting unlawful and malicious activities. Machine learning, which is a type of AI, can be used as an additional tool to complement these efforts.
You can't pirate things, but they're supportive of generative AI. Lobbying and trade groups often operate behind closed doors, but when those doors open for a little bit for a public hearing, we finally get to see just how unbelievably incompetent and anti-consumer they are. And this is from an organization that pretends to represent video gaming for the betterment of it. So we're going to look at how wrong some of their claims are, but we're also digging into, as a good opportunity, the shady background of the ESA. Didn't think much of it before, but there's a lot there. We'll start with the news coming out of this hearing, and then we're going to go into the lobbying history and where the ESA spends its money, and other than subscription gaming, what for. But let's start with the timeline of how we got here. Here's what happened. On February 12th, 2026, Chris Ward, a member of California's State Assembly, introduced a new state bill that would give consumers legal protections to continue playing games that they've spent money on after publishers shutter servers. On June 29th, the ESA pushed back on the bill in front of the Senate Business and Professions Committee, or the BS Committee for short, and Economic Development Committee. When talking about Minecraft, ESA Vice President for State Government Affairs Jennifer Gibbons called private servers illegal.
They're illegal, and they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft. Microsoft, for Minecraft, has gotten a lot of criticism because of those community servers not employing the same safety standards that Microsoft does on their Minecraft servers.
California State Senator Caroline Mendenhall, apparently too inept to study the topic she's literally voting on for even 1 minute, followed up to ask this brilliant question. California State Senator Caroline Mendenhall, apparently too inept to study the topic she's literally voting on for even 1 minute, followed up to ask this brilliant question.
Is it like the black market of video games?
To which the ESA's Gibbons responded,
Yes, in fact, we consider it piracy.
They took that bullshit and they just ran with it.
We have lawsuits, 2 pending lawsuits against private.
They heard black market and they were like, drugs, guns, knives, bombs? Oh, hell no.
Servers right now, and the United States Trade Representative in their notorious markets reports on counterfeiting and piracy has named some of these big private servers as a notorious market.
To reiterate, Minecraft officially facilitates private servers on its website. Minecraft's EULA also says that players can install Minecraft Java Edition on a server and host online play. Looking at the very USTR report she references, which the ESA contributed to, we'll come back to that little level of what we think is corrupt.
Firestormservers.com is an example of unauthorized third-party server that hosts online games for users to play without paying the monthly subscription fees charged by the legitimate site. According to right holders, this particular server enables approximately 8,800 active users to play World of Warcraft, an online video game, without paying the monthly subscription fee established by the... Is that real?
It highlights 2 World of Warcraft servers, firestormservers.com and warmain.com, but it does not describe private servers themselves as a...
Legacy Realms shut down. Today we would like to hear an important announcement. Everyone, we kindly ask you read it carefully. After a lot of consideration, we have decided to permanently close several Legacy Realms: Deathwing, Cataclysm, Gul'dan, Wad, Greymane, Legion, I'm not gonna LARP like I know what these are, Cetharalis, PFA, Oribos, Shadowlands, Veldraken, Dragonflight. These realms will be shut down on June 29th. What are the reasons? We understand these realms hold many memories for our players, but after evaluating their activity, which is really low, peak less than 30 players online, spreading our resources, staff members, sysadmin, and other important factors, we believe this is the best step forward for the future of the server. We would like to focus on more active realms, especially in the main realm, Dornagal. About this realm, we're in the process of hiring developers to actively fix old content, providing better game experience. There's also good news on the way with you. We've been working since a while. The fresh realm. Okay. I thought they were shutting down. That would have been sad. Hate to hear anything shuts down.
Illegal. Instead, it points out that they allowed users to avoid paying subscription fees to games, which is not what the California bill called for. At best, none of these people know what the fuck they're talking about, and at worst, they're intentionally omitting information to further restrict ownership, which the ESA obviously supports with its pro-subscription propaganda. Free servers for pay-to-play MMORPGs that require monthly subscriptions are not at all related to servers for buy-to-own games that are hosted privately. Following the ESA's lies, the propaganda. Free servers for pay-to-play MMORPGs that require monthly subscriptions are not at all related to servers for buy-to-own games that are hosted privately. Monthly subscriptions are not at all related to servers for buy-to-own games that are hosted privately. Following the ESA's lies, the pro-ownership bill, which advocated for some protections if you buy a game, failed on the committee floor. It garnered...
Dude, I fucking hate World of Warcraft because it looks so awesome in the videos, trailers, and then you play the game.
4 aye votes, 3 no votes, and 4 abstentions, leaving the bill short of the votes necessary to advance. Despite the setback, Stop Killing Games General Director...
Is it Overwatch? He's playing Ana in Overwatch. God damn it, now I want to play Overwatch. Should I? Maybe.
of the votes necessary to advance. Despite the setback, Stop Killing Games General Director Moritz Katzner remained optimistic following the news and wrote this, quote, "This was our first attempt in our first year in the United States with a U.S. budget of $0, no paid staff in California, no war chest, no in-person lobbying operation," end quote. Stop Killing Games also spoke about the ESA, stating, quote, "They had to work for this. They're going to have to work a lot harder next time because next time we'll be ready," end quote. Katzner argued that the ESA mischaracterized the bill by claiming it required perpetual support and that keeping online games playable after support ends would be impossible.
what is Cloudpunk?
Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk a little about Cloudpunk. This game was released back in 2020 and it is developed by Ionland.
Wait, I want to see. Holiday.
Hey guys, welcome to the.
There we go.
Hey guys, welcome to the first.
That is crispy quality.
Opening section of Cloudpunk on the PlayStation 5. I know this one has been a long
Why can't my PC render this?
time coming. I know a lot of people have been waiting a very long time for this, so we're super excited to finally, in the next couple of weeks, on August 19th and 26th, get this in your hands. So the first thing you notice, the first thing I notice, is the adaptive triggers that increase in tension as you increase and decrease your speed. Give that real weightiness to the vehicle mechanics, the sensation of it.
Control, come in. Is this channel receiving me?
Driver 14FC, this is Control. We reach you.
No, my name's Rania.
No, give it a kid.
I'm the new driver, yeah. Who is Carmine?
He was Driver 14FB.
What happened to him?
He retired last month.
Good for him.
Not really. He was in the big Sector 6 crash last week.
This game is so blurry if you don't watch it in high quality.
Lots of people got retired. Don't worry, he won't be flying through that section for hours yet.
Where do I go now?
Well, how are you handling your Hava?
Okay, I guess.
I read your references. You're a good driver, but navigating a Hava around the Valas isn't like driving your flat country roads back home. This city goes down 100 miles and up 1,000. Remember, you're not driving an old internal combustion engine. You'll need to engage your vertical repulsors or find one of the car lifts. Fly to headquarters. I'll give you more instructions when you arrive.
Thanks, Control.
One more thing, 14FC.
Alright, so we're on our way to Cloudpunk HQ, and I think there's a way to get the cockpit mode. A really nice touch I like is if you disconnect the camera with square, you can actually use the touchpad to freely look about the cockpit. Take in the city. I think it looks great. So let's make our way to Cloudpunk HQ. I also have the camera boom directly in front of my screen, which is why I didn't even see that car, which doesn't help at all.
Okay, Cloudpunk looks cool, but
Smoky eyes, are you feeling good? For now you're here with me. Seems like we've waited long enough for someone else to make.
In early June 2026, Bitcoin plummeted below $60,000. People panicked and sold up. It seemed like the crypto dream was dead. But while retail investors were losing their life savings, Wall Street was executing the largest wealth transfer of the decade. Because this wasn't a crash, it was a robbery. A deliberate move designed to flush out over $1.8 billion in leverage. Friday, June 5th was one of the most dramatic days the crypto markets had seen in years. It happened so fast that most traders barely knew what was going on. Bitcoin, the premier cryptocurrency, which had been trading above 80,000 only a few weeks prior, experienced a sudden, colossal collapse.
Dude, if the infographics is making a video about Bitcoin being good for you, they've got to have been taken over by private equity, and they've got to be owned by lobbyists now. There's no way. The way they hate on AI this much, and now they're loving Bitcoin.
In early June 2026, Bitcoin plummeted below $60,000. People panicked and sold up. It seemed like the crypto dream was dead. But while retail investors were losing their life savings, Wall Street was executing the largest wealth transfer of the decade. Because this wasn't a crash, it was a robbery. A deliberate move designed to flush out over $1.8 billion in leverage. Friday, June 5th was one of the most dramatic days the crypto markets had seen in years. It happened so fast that most traders barely knew what was going on. Bitcoin, the premier cryptocurrency, which had been trading above 80,000 only a few weeks prior, experienced a sudden, colossal collapse. Millions of cell phones vibrated simultaneously across the world as the news came in. BTC's value was taking a nosedive. It even dipped below the $60,000 mark to reach a $59,100 intraday low at one stage. It managed a minor recovery, hitting $61,000 the next morning. But it was chaos, a market failure, at least to the untrained eye. It seemed like the definitive piece of proof that critics of the crypto world had been waiting for, a clear sign that Bitcoin and $9,100.
Yeah, I remember seeing this. I don't really give a shit about Bitcoin, but I do check on the price because it's good catalyst. Bitcoin was down for a good while the market was up. Let me see. No, I don't fuck with Bitcoin. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. At least not now. It's having a good little run, but so while the market was up, Bitcoin was up for a bit, but then it's been straight down, 50% down for like the entire last year. Bitcoin is terrible.
Intraday low at one stage. It managed a minor recovery, hitting $61,000 the next morning. But it was chaos, a market failure, at least to the untrained eye. It seemed like the definitive piece of proof that critics of the crypto world had been waiting for, a clear sign that Bitcoin and crypto in general can't be considered a safe and secure store of value. But here's the truth. This wasn't a failure or uncontrollable crash. It was a controlled burn. A burn that was perfectly executed, mathematically precise, and absolutely necessary for the market to not just recover, but to reach whole new heights. It was the financial equivalent of setting fire to a diseased forest so that healthier roots can take hold. Because while most people were focused on the price charts, they were only seeing the smoke. The real fire was happening behind the scenes. Approximately $1.8 to $2.5 billion worth of toxic leverage was utterly incinerated. Here's why that matters. Leverage is like a plague on the financial system. It's borrowed funds. It's retail traders effectively betting with money that isn't theirs. That in turn forces the system into shaky ground.
Wait, so they burned all the leverage. That's a W. I never thought of it like that. If they shook out all the paper-handed leverage holders that couldn't afford to hold through that because they're borrowing a shit ton of money while they're investing, and those guys borrow a shit ton of money and those investments go down 50%, they're cooked. So they stop doing that. They pull out all their funds, and now everyone in the market is no longer leveraged, and it's all natural money. Hashtag naturally aspirated market. So then it becomes unnaturally aspirated over time. They put a V8 in it, they put a supercharger, boom. Next thing you know, the market's back at rally highs. I didn't know that's how they cleared it though. I thought it was, wow. I knew people were leveraging Bitcoin like 10,000x, but it was insane.
The more the leverage builds up, the more unstable the situation becomes. Eventually, it reaches a point where the market can no longer move, grow, or progress until that leverage is wiped out. In other words, for Bitcoin to take the next step in its evolution.
That's kind of where the stock market is right now. It's insanely over leveraged. You can't borrow infinitely. You have to just pull back. That's crazy. So they're kind of just cooked.
For this crypto rocket to surge, the leverage had to be jettisoned. But that money can't just vanish, it has to go somewhere. While terrified users were frantically smashing the sell button as they feared the worst, the entities buying up their assets weren't amateurs or casual investors, they were pros. Wall Street investors who took advantage of the fire sale, snapping up assets at a massively discounted rate. They were confident that they would double or even triple their money on the other side. The retail market provided exactly what the big dogs of the investment world had been waiting for: exit liquidity. Everyday investors became fuel for the machine. They thought that they were fleeing a sinking ship. In reality, they were handing over their hard-earned portfolios to giant investment firms. But this crash didn't start in the crypto markets. It started in Silicon Valley. Money is the oxygen of the market. When it flows in, assets grow stronger and more valuable. When it leaves, they become weaker. And in the weeks and months building up to June 2026, one sector in particular was sucking up almost all the oxygen available. That sector was artificial intelligence. In just a few years, AI has infiltrated almost every aspect of modern life. It's become one of the most powerful technological forces on the planet. And where there's power, there's value. Investors didn't want to miss out on making the most of that value. They had to get in on the ground floor of the biggest and best AI companies, as well as emerging up-and-comers, to maximize their long-term gains. 2026 has seen numerous big AI brands making their entry into the markets, with a swath of highly anticipated initial public offerings, or IPOs, arriving on the scene. These are the companies of the future, the masters of machine learning, the creators of the next generation AI models. And unsurprisingly, they attracted a lot of attention. The valuations for some of these companies were almost unprecedented. An unstoppable wave of hype built up and only got bigger as IPO after IPO hit the stock market. The global financial ecosystem responded instantly. Hedge funds and venture capital firms suddenly found themselves in a race against the clock. Some of the biggest tech listings in years were about to hit the market, and everyone wanted a piece of them. But they needed cash fast. You might think that they would start unloading stocks or selling off parts of their real estate portfolios. They didn't. Instead, many turned to the fastest source of liquidity they had available: cryptocurrencies. Slowly but surely, they began draining liquidity out of the crypto markets to pour into AI IPOs. It happened in the background, and bit by bit, the depth of Bitcoin order books began to thin out. The total volume of cash in the world's leading cryptocurrency slowly but surely evaporated. On the surface, the market seemed to be performing as normal. Deep down, however, its foundations were being ripped out. A system with high liquidity can cope with a crisis, but with liquidity drained, the crypto market was a dry forest just waiting for a match to set it all ablaze. And the algorithms knew exactly where to strike. There's a rhythm to financial markets that most people don't understand. They believe that a healthy market should only ever move in one direction, up. Volatility is seen as a weakness, a defect. The best and most successful investors see things very differently. They understand the rhythm of the markets, the cycles, the rises, and the falls. They know that volatility is a feature, a necessity even. For any asset class to mature and reach its full potential, it has to pass through periods of structural collapse. It's only by falling that markets learn to rise even higher. The evidence is right there in the data. Not in the price charts that everyone watches, and not in the surface-level metrics that most retail investors obsess over. It is in the deeper macro-level indicators, the kind the world's most sophisticated trading desks use to plan their orders and time their trades to perfection. One of the most powerful is something called the Market Value to Realized Value Z-score, or MVRV Z-score. It sounds complicated, and in many ways it is. Think of the MVRV Z-score as a market alarm system. When it flashes red, Bitcoin might be trading above its fair value. When it moves to the opposite extreme, Bitcoin might be massively undervalued. Take a look at how the Z-score has fluctuated over time, and an astonishing trend emerges. During all of the past big Bitcoin crashes, 2015, 2018, and 2022, the Z-score always did the exact same thing. It dropped below zero, plunging into negative territory. Every time that happened, the media started writing headlines and publishing reports about how Bitcoin was too volatile and dangerous for people.
Dude, it sounds like RSI. It sounds like the relative strength index. Even the chart that he showed here.
MVRV Z-score as a market alarm system. When it flashes red, Bitcoin might be trading above its fair value.
That's like 70, 50, and 40, or 70, 40, and 30, or something like that. Or maybe 100 and 70, 50, 30, I think.
When it moves to the opposite extreme, Bitcoin might be massively undervalued. Some even called the cryptocurrency market dead in the water. Meanwhile, the smallest investors ignored the noise and focused on what mattered, the Z-score. It was a flashing red light and screaming a single all-important order: buy. Because every time that score dropped below zero, Bitcoin rose by at least 300% in the cycle that followed. It's a pattern that's played out over and over. In March 2020, the global pandemic ground the world's economy to a halt. Bitcoin's price was slashed in half within just a couple days. The panic was palpable. But in the 180 days following the massive decline, the long-term holder supply, the total volume of Bitcoin owned by entities that refused to sell, increased by approximately 3 to 5 percentage points. That's the equivalent of taking the entire gold reserves of America off of the open market and moving them to a private vault within 6 months. It was a silent yet massive consolidation of wealth, a dramatic shift of Bitcoin out of weak hands into strong ones. This is a biological necessity of a healthy market. It needs to fail so that it can be reset and...
Okay, so yeah, it's literally what I said at the beginning. They just fucking baited all the paper hands, and then after that, all the people who are willing to hold longer. Wow. That's the same way a short squeeze works. I had no idea that they were that similar, but that's literally the exact same. Wow.
rebuilt better than before. And this too is something that we've seen happen in the past with devastating precision.
It's not even in the past. This happens every week. This happened with ACAN, SDOT this week. SDOT went from like $2 to $7, and then from 7 to 10, and then I thought it was done at 10 because that's already 1,000% increase, or roughly. And then it went from 10 to like 40, or 10 to 30, and then 30 to 40, 30 to 50, or 40 to 30, 30 to 50. And then it went straight, basically just a nice rally, 50 to 100 for another 100% run. It was pretty insane. I think it was like something around a 10,000% run. But all that happened, and then, you know, of course, an inevitable consolidation pullback. But all that happened within like 1 week, and it was basically like watching the market go up and then go down.
In 2021, Bitcoin was performing well. It reached an all-time high in the $60,000 range by the spring, when suddenly a barrage of bad news sent its value plummeting yet again. Prospective mining bans, regulatory measures, and forced liquidations all took their toll. Within just a few weeks, Bitcoin's price had been slashed in half, sitting in the low 30,000s. The same narrative emerged again. Bitcoin was over. The bull market was dead. Anyone still holding crypto better get out while they can or suffer even greater losses. Large parts of the retail public followed that advice. They sold off their assets and rued the fact that they hadn't got out sooner. But the smartest investors saw what was really happening, a unique phenomenon known as the Wyckoff accumulation phase. Named after a legendary investor, editor, and founder of the Magazine of Wall Street, it describes a strategy that many believe the largest market participants have used for decades. Before major moves to higher prices, the biggest players don't usually buy all at once. Instead, they accumulate. The so-called whales do this to frighten retail investors to the point that they sell off their holdings. During the 2021 Wyckoff phase, however, an uneasy anomaly appeared. The number of whale wallets, those holding 1,000 BTC or more, started to decline by around 12%. At the same time, the number of small retail-level wallets increased as casual investors bought into the dips in the hopes of turning a quick profit. The narrative shifted to something even scarier. Big money was backing out of Bitcoin. The public once again bought into this story, but the whales weren't really abandoning Bitcoin, they were preparing for a massive leverage wipeout. On May 19, 2021, that wipeout arrived. A staggering $8.6 billion was wiped out within a matter of hours. To understand the magnitude of that value, $8.6 billion is enough to purchase the Dallas Cowboys, one of the world's biggest sporting institutions, outright, and still have $3 billion to spare. The impact was immediate. Retail accounts were liquidated to nothing. This in turn set up the largest wealth consolidation since the 2008 financial crisis. By the end of this turn set up the largest wealth consolidation since the 2008 financial crisis. By the end of 2021, Bitcoin's value had surged yet again. Now in 2026, there's enough data to show that this isn't random or coincidental. History is repeating itself with surgical precision. The June 2026 crash is almost coincidental. History is repeating itself with surgical precision. The June 2026 crash is almost a mirror image of the 2021 event. The same headlines, the same narrative, and the same emotional impact on the retail investor market. But 2026 has a safety net that 2021 never had. A floor built by the most powerful financial institutions on Earth. In early 2024, the rules of the Bitcoin market were effectively rewritten. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission officially approved the first Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. For more than a decade, Bitcoin had existed as a separate entity from the global financial system. It was always on the fringes, volatile, lacking in regulatory oversight, and difficult to break into for both amateur investors and even traditional institutions. The launch of the exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, changed all that. It bridged the gap that had separated Bitcoin and the legacy financial system for so long. The impact was immediate. The titans of the investment world like BlackRock and Fidelity jumped into the pool head first. By the end of the year, they'd held a jaw-dropping 900,000 BTC in their institutional vaults. That's around 4.6% of the entire circulating supply of the asset itself. To put the number into perspective, 900,000 Bitcoin is just 200,000 Bitcoin short of the total of the 1.1 million lost coins of Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, worth roughly $80 billion.
I look, you forgot that there's a creator of Bitcoin.
100,000 Bitcoin short of the total of the 1.1 million lost coins of Satoshi.
Well, it's by an unknown person or group using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Who's that? That sounds like a Nintendo owner. Dev. Wow. Authored the Bitcoin white paper and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. As part of the implementation, that could also devise the first blockchain database. Jesus. None of these coins have been moved or spent since Satoshi stepped away from the project in 2010. That's fucking dark, dude. They got him. They got him. They got Satoshi. The government found out this guy created a brand new currency that was better than theirs, and they fucking got him. His current valuation, Satoshi places company among the top 25 richest people on Earth, trillions of time, the traditional tech moguls and industrialists, because these assets are technically the public, but network fluctuates drastically by billions of dollars week to week. For contact, when Bitcoin peaked at Satoshi's network, theoretical network briefly eclipsed 130 billion, placing them in the global top 10. Wow. Whoa.
in your backpack. This melody your girlfriend contact. Some boy not know this. Them only come around like tourists on the beach with a few club sodas, bedtime stories, and pose like them name Chuck Norris. And don't know the real hardcore, cause sandals are not back to. The thugs them we do where them got to. And won't think twice to shot to. Don't make them spot you, unless you carry guns a lot too. A beer tough thing come at you when trench town man stop laugh and block off traffic. Then them we learn pop off and them start drop it. With the pin file long and it a beat rapid. Police come in a jeep and them can't stop it. Some say them a playboy rabbit. Get dropped like a bad habit. So no bother post off if you don't have it. Rastafari stands alone. Hey.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
To jam down, where people are dead at random. Political violence can't done. Pure ghosts and phantom. The youth them get blind by stardom. Now the king of kings are called. Whole man to pick me. So wave on no one if you with me. To see this operation sick me. Them suit no fit me. To win election, them trick with them down to nothing at all. Come on, let's face it. I get our education's basic. And most of the youth them waste it. And when them waste it, that's when them take the guns, replace it. Then them don't stand a chance at all. And that's why enough little youth have up some fatmatic. With the extra magazine in a them back pocket. And a bleach at night time in a some black jacket. All who not lock blocks at them a lock rocket. Them we pull you up a current like a shock socket. Them we run a road block which but the cops block it. And from now till a morning no stop clock it. If them run out of rounds a broke back ratchet. South side, north side. East coast, west coast. Yo. Cornwall, Middlesex and Surrey, y'all. Hey.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Jamaica, Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica. No. Jamaica, Jamaica. No. Jamaica, Jamaica.
What I hate most in this life is a long night. Promos and no calls and no lights, but I'm moonlight creeping through the blinds till I feel night spinning. I'm beginning to believe that tonight is the night. Dead by dawn, I was read by bombs to the end of my arm. I'm spreading gold. Put me in the down where I belong. Existence is overrated anyway. 50 years later, they won't remember your name. 6 billion people living as a million. And I hated them all. I should have been up a million. Reptilian living in a swamp. Into the vault with my wrist shackled up. Codeine and water that fill up my cup. Visuals glisten when I get fucked up. Rehab for quitters and I don't give up. Cocking the 9 if you wanna act tough. This all by design, I don't have any luck. When it comes to the dollars, don't make me get bucked. Got no tip showers when I go and bust. Tell me the reason you wanna be us. I'll tell you good riddance and then get the fuck. Used to fuck bitches in back of the bus. Nothing has changed, bitch, I'm still busting nuts. Always complaining about bitches and love. When I don't feel nothing, no, not even lust. Triple 6 demons and Satan we trust. Killing these motherfuckers is a must.
Okay.
your gate, and the song that I sing is of moonlight. I stand and I wait for the touch of your hand in the June night. The roses are sighing, a moonlight serenade. The stars are aglow, and tonight how their light sets me dreaming. My love, do you know that your eyes are like stars brightly beaming? I bring you and I sing you a moonlight serenade. Let us stray till break of day in love's valley of dreams. Just you and I, a summer sky.
Well, we agree with his description of the ESA's mischaracterization, which we think echoes lies and misrepresentations advanced by online influencers previously. That's not what the bill is asking for at all. The bill just wants some kind of assurance that post-shutdown, you can still play the game locally, or you have tools like local server executables to make the game operational again, and we'll talk about the specifics of the bill in a minute. In closing, Katzner stated, quote, "We're not stopping, not even close. Next session, we come back with an in-person lobbying presence, the funding to do this properly, and a long list of organizations and developers signed on in support. We're not limiting this to California. We intend to introduce versions of this in other state legislatures, and we are seriously looking at the federal level," end quote. The day after the committee voted against advancing the bill, the ESA tripled down on claims about private servers being illegal in a statement sent to PC Gamer. Quote, "Private servers infringe on intellectual property, IP rights of game publishers. Publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against them. The provision in CAAB 1921 that proposed these servers as a legitimate alternative to keep games running raises concerns about a publisher's ability to enforce their IP rights," end quote. The ESA then sent PC Gamer another statement, surely a sign of a competent and organized organization that has its shit together. In the follow-up to the follow-up that they followed up after their follow-up, the ESA told PC Gamer that, quote, "Private servers that host or distribute copyrighted game content without authorization infringe on the intellectual property, aka IP rights of game publishers. While publishers may take different approaches, all publishers reserve the right to exercise their rights against IP infringement," end quote. The association added that, quote, "Private servers..."
The average life expectancy of a new... I can't stand Snip. Whoever designs the software Snip is an idiot. Wait, these are some fucking cracked ass court cases. How did... Wait, these are some fucking cracked... That's about it, from what I can tell. Boy, they're finally getting audited, bro. And the MK Ultra hearing, the Tyler Robinson hearing, the Epstein hearing, the Russian war, Russia...
Can I just donate a 20?
It's got this here.
Oh.
It's all good.
I hope. Of course. Nice, I got this health pack hacked again.
Good. What's that? Playing high. Go high. Come high. Come high.
I'm still cooked.
Hanzo,
She's
come
so
high.
warm.
Hanzo, you should be playing high.
I was trying to save our.
You're good. You're good. I got you. I got you. Go. Tipping Bastion.
Backing in.
My Hector's health pack close. Health pack hacked here. Mizuki half. Oh my god, I got stuck on the fucking thing. We gotta reset, full reset. Health pack hacked here.
Backing in.
My Hector's health pack close.
Wait.
What's the queue?
Can't make it.
Give me money? Like, just for me asking, bro.
Definitely going to talk about because he is a big advocate.
Buy my account, like, actually.
ET.
Then, bro.
ET.
Okay, so I watched. Wait, these are some fucking cracked ass court cases. How did I not know none of these are going on? We have the. Okay. We have some crazy fucking headlines today. We have the MK, well, not just today, like this week. We have the MK Ultra hearing, the full MK Ultra hearing. We have the Stop Killing Games initiative. The ESA is talking about how servers, privately ran servers on buy-to-play games are some sort of pirating or illegal. And then we have all this other shit. We have the... Then we have the Russian war. And then we have to see if Americans require coke to survive. I guess that's a headline. We have